What's up, you guys? It's Mitchell and Mitchell back in the house. Your boy Ed, aka Sip, and my partner Kimmy Kim,
What's up,
aka
y'all?
Spill from the infamous Sip and Spill. Y'all, you know how we get down. We get it
Hmm.
cracking. We get it live. This weekend we're going live again this Saturday. I would say 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Yep.
Yeah. So my fabulous partner over there, we're gonna have a conversation, and I got a question for you, Kim. What do you think about exploring outside experiences within your relationship? Meaning, like, you're in a relationship and then you do things to spice things up. Like, what's acceptable? What's too much? What's not enough? Do you do it outside? Because some people kind of like, when they think about, especially if you've been married for a long time or in a relationship for a long time, monogamous or whatever, monogamous relationship, let's focus on monogamous relationships, and you're kind of like, we want to spice it up. And people, traditionally would do uh, toys or role playing and stuff like that. But what do you think about that? What do you think about that and exploring different things? Let's start with that part, like spicing up relationships.
I think it's absolutely necessary. I think just like when you meet somebody and you as you call it the new relationship energy, it changes over time. It's so easy to get complacent in a relationship. It's so easy to get 100% comfortable and relaxed to the point that where you like already know what he's gonna do and you damn near make it predictable. And then I know the type of woman that I am. I bore easily. So repetitiously, I'm gonna be bored in any capacity. I can't. I just can't. So either you're gonna do it with me or I'm gonna do it without you.
Mm.
Then that mean now I'm exploring the things that I like. I think it's necessary when you in a relationship to explore all avenues, whether you are monogamous or you are with multiple partners. I just feel like that the understanding of the partner that you with, because everybody have a main, needs to understand, and I think everything else can flow. I feel like that you should be able to have that in a way that is acceptable and comfortable for you.
Let me
Like a
ask.
man. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'll ask you a question. Like, well, who? Like, let's say I didn't want to cut you off because I felt you was going to say something. You probably won't answer the question I was going to ask, but like, who initiates the conversation? How do you, whoever initiated, how do you present that conversation? And some people may get offended. They don't know that, well, why we got to spice things up, or why we got to change things up, or why you get.
I think that is a direct question, and I think that it's a good question, but that's why I say inventory checks. If I'm in a relationship with a man, I'm going to share and tell him. I mean, and I will encourage him to share that with me, and I would encourage you guys to share that with your mate. I just don't. I feel like that a lot of things can be prevented if you really have an honest and very candid conversation about what you're feeling. Like, why do people have sex ed and they don't talk about it afterwards? So you think you gave your best work, and then you come home and you hear her on the phone, and she was like, "Girl, yeah, his ass came so fast again." And you like, oh, it just hit you, you know what I'm saying? Or you think you doing something. He was like, you come home and then you hear your guy say, or you walk in on a conversation and he like, yeah, but see, I mean, she all right, but man, I'm saying this girl, I said, I would love to throw her ass up on the counter. But how you know the woman you with might not be wanting to throw it on the counter? You never did that. You just so used to doing missionary, she don't know what it's like. So what I'm saying is, I feel like if you open the door, it don't always gotta be a lie. People like to do it just appeals more when it's sneaky, when it's lie. I remember I feel like you can have an affair and you can have a and you can have make it be like it's something, because I don't know why. This is just like telling the baby don't touch this, it's hot. The same thing in relationship, it's just better when you with your main, I guess, and then you get a little sweet text from her and you be like, oh, you smiling, she don't know what you smiling for. But I hate to say this to a certain extent for some people that might not take this right, and that is when everybody be talking about them side chicks or those other women, it'd be crazy how the women don't know that, or the men don't know that, them side guys, whatever. They be helping the people stay together. Really, they do.
Mm.
Because it's like, I'm gonna be with this person because I like this person, but this person I like that got things I like. This person I like that they got this too. But them together, I got my complete package. But
Mm.
I feel like if you step to the table and you be truly honest with your mate, I feel like you can have, unless you just gotta have a different penis or you just gotta have a different vagina. If that's your spice, if that's your spice of, seasoning, then that's on you. Or some people say, I gotta have the whole, which is not the vagina. You know what I'm saying? I just gotta be able to do that. Like some men used to talk about toys. Some men don't feel comfortable when a woman put no bees in they butts. Or they don't feel comfortable with a woman even hitting them, grabbing them on their butt. They just feel like it puts them in a very awkward position. You know what? Don't do that. See, now you're tripping. See, I was loving you all of a sudden, then you just did that. But she really likes that. So what I'm saying is, I feel like you just need to have the type of conversation and that inventory check. Like, babe, how
If
you doing? It's just a
if you
regular
had that
day.
conversation and the person like I'm gonna look at it, I'm gonna maybe ask it from a standpoint like you just made a very good point about like okay, she may grab him or do these things like around his butt area that men aren't really confident in. So how do you with men having those type of I guess I would have to answer that, but when men have those type of like phobias, how do you approach a man if they have phobias about simple stuff like that? How do you approach them by saying, "Hey, I want to spice it up. I want more. I want something different." Like, how do you? That's been a
I
thing.
mean,
Like,
I mean, you asking me how you do it. I'm saying you just do it.
you just do
I
it.
don't feel like that everything got to be dressed up and put some mayonnaise and Miracle Whip on it. You know what I'm saying? I just, and just we gonna have to have that come. That's what I'm saying. I feel like a lot of people are in relationships and they just don't have conversations. They just do their normal things routinely, and you suffer in silence. You don't tell that mate that they not really, get down like you think they are. You don't
Mm.
tell that mate that what's wrong with me coming in and I want to throw you up against blah blah blah, or I want to do this, whatever it is, because some crazy is not crazy to everybody.
So
That's what I
basically,
say.
just
Right. And
just stop
stop
beating
trying
around
to.
the bush. Just go right
Right.
in and just
Well, and not only that, just get to know your mate. If that's the
oh
person that you say you finna get to know your mate, and stop comparing the other one. Every woman, I had a conversation with a friend. He was like, I dated a woman, she got bottom and breasts and stuff like that. Then I dated another woman, she got a flat ass, but they both had different things that he rocked with them. That doesn't mean it doesn't. Everybody is not. It's about the body size. You know what I'm saying? They can have. Then it could be. That's like I was saying about. We talked about this on another show where a guy said he liked the woman that he was with, but he liked it his ex sex better. So he wanted to keep having sex with the ex because with them both, he felt like he had a complete package.
mm,
But what he could do, and it's you could try, you got to if you really want, and that is the things you like and you want. You might want to tell that person that is your main.
I love how you said you could try.
Yeah, because it's just certain things which I refer to that 80/20 you're just not gonna get.
Yeah. So I
You're
got a
just not
question.
gonna get that in everything. So people feel like, well, I'm entitled, damn it. This is my life. So I'm entitled to have more than one woman. Or I'm entitled to have more than one man, because to me that's a complete package. Have you ever heard? I don't know about you, Ed, but I've heard that. Where I've heard where people say he said, I don't feel like I'm a cheater. A guy said, I don't feel like I'm a cheater. And he said, I said, why you don't feel like you're a cheater? He said, because first of all, she knows that this is what I do. And he said, and she knows she will never, ever be able to completely satisfy me. And
That's
ladies,
kind of
when I
harsh.
tell y'all that, it sounds harsh,
It
but
sounds
that's
real
the
harsh.
harsh reality that he was just bold enough to say his harsh reality truth. And he's going to hopefully come on our show and say just that, because that's how he feels. And he also feels that Ed play a guy named Dan. Ed is acting. He's been, a narcissistic, dumbass nigga that we talk about. But he's acting. That's not Ed personalizing him. But this guy, this is his real damn feelings. So when we come at him, he feels this for show, for real, all that. He
That's crazy.
feels that a woman is never ever going to be, she's always going to be stuck in that a certain way with a man. She could never really love more than one man anyway. So all this stuff is debatable. But what I'm saying is, just like we come on here and say that we're non-judgmental
Right.
and we don't give a damn what your gender, what you are. You know what I'm saying? I just don't feel like I'm in that position to judge anyone. I don't. But at the same time, I have my specifications. If I'm in a relationship, I'm going to share with him. How I'm going to share with him, I don't mind, and I don't see nothing wrong with it. I feel like you shouldn't be think you basically burning your sheets up and you ain't doing shit.
Let
And
me ask.
then you want to wonder why. Because a lot of times, and not to cut you off, a lot of times when mates and couples get cheated on or adultery or relationship, you know, y'all, they never talk about why. They just say you this and that. You be so caught up in that and the guilt of that. You never know why. There is a reason, guys. There is a reason.
Let me.
It's
I
not a
want to.
fault. It's just a reason.
It's a reason, which
Really,
that
it's a
is.
reason.
I want to take a dive into a specific area with this though. I want to kind of like because we talk about those different concepts as far as like the. Well, we don't really go into cheating as much as we talk about poly and monogamy and all that kind of stuff. But I want to look at it from a standpoint of like a monogamous, let's say a married couple. I want to kind of go deep, not dive into this a little bit, where a couple, well, they want to spice things up and they decide to go outside of the relationship. And so, how do you, number one, how do you bring that to the forefront? And then, or how do you address it or even bring it up? And then, what do you, well, not necessarily you, but to the people who watch or whatever, I want to know what your opinion on it because we've had conversations. And I'm going to put this in my direction where I know people who have tried to venture out and it's kind of turned into a whole bunch of other stuff. So let's just say, for example, a couple say, okay, look, we're going to go ahead and they're still together. They're not trying to, necessarily date other people, but they want to have an encounter with somebody or a sexual encounter. And let's just say for the more popular way of doing it is usually a woman. So a man, a heterosexual couple, male and the female, will bring in a woman. And, you know, it's supposed to be one thing and then it turned into something else where either the male is really attracted to the woman a lot more, vice versa. The male and the other woman's attraction is tight or crazy and they thought it was going to be, or the woman and the woman's relationship is tighter than they thought it would be. Like, what do you think about like that? Like when those type of things happen? Like, I mean, what's your, or do you even have an opinion, or is it something you want to kind of bypass that statement or whatever? I just think it gets really weird because now you open this Pandora's box and
okay, so that's why I have an opinion, but why don't you give yours?
I don't think it's tricky because looking at it from a different, I had the opportunities to learn and explore and think a little bit different about that when it comes to um I'm a little bit more open minded when it comes to that, but there are some insecurities with that. Like I've always wondered, I haven't had this particular experience where there's another person involved, and then my person, my woman, and that woman become closer than me and my woman, or me and the other person, or vice versa. And it just seems like you was finna say by opening Pandora's box, it just seemed like so many weird things can go along with that. You kind of biting off more you can chew because now these people are starting their own relationship. Like stuff can start getting sneaky and people going around the back. We see this stuff all the time in a lot of these movies.
Right. So but I'm just saying I guess I'm trying to curtail what your question is. How do you go about that if you want to approach and your mate, and if you make a conscious decision to even step to your mate first of all, because when you all got together, it's just you and that person.
Right.
So when you make up in your mind, you're on the phone talking to your homeboy, you're on the phone talking to your girlfriend, and you say, "This is what I want to do." Know and trust and believe. When you share that to that mate, it changes your dynamic because whether you actually go through with it or not. The fact that that other mate know that that's what you want to do, it changes y'all dynamic.
Mm.
So I would suggest, I'm gonna go a different route. The way I would suggest, I haven't had that experience. I've never ever been approached to that way. I can't say that, but I've often wondered more than not of from being experienced another person from adultery and cheating and all that. What I would do if I was actually given the opportunity. I'm really big on don't take my choice away, meaning that I would like for you to sit down with me as an adult, because I'm hoping that you're my friend first and let me know that you're feeling this sort of kind of way and this is what you want before we make that step. And yes, it's going to change the dynamic of our relationship, but that's where you become, as you would say, Ed, in the poly world of being freedom and free and just free to be able to say. Now, I don't really necessarily mean think that it has to be that particular title as they you say poly free to love. I think it's just truly being like, I really want to keep it 100 with you. Just like you said, the one that you lie to the most is the one you love the most because you want them to project into them that this is how it is a certain way. But I feel like the person that tell the person the truth, you love them too because you're not taking their choice away. I'm letting you know that this is where I'm at. And I'm going to be honest, I've learned not too long that you'll be surprised of the answer that you would get if you do it. If we're so cultivated on lying and sneaking and cheating and completely not being honest that you even want to try different things because it's so shamed and stuff like that. And
Mm.
it's like that's not a normal way. Like most married people don't get together and be sitting up at coffee in the morning telling someone, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and invite this one over and we're gonna do, we're gonna
Right.
become this. We don't, you
That's,
just
that's
don't do
that's
that.
just so taboo and crazy, and
Right.
it's just
So
outside the box.
the
Awkward.
hesitation, right. All those crazy, so the hesitation of it all is understood, but is it warranted to still do? Yes, because if you really truly solidified, how they say you go through life and you get tested and tried. But I'm going to say that's a different type of relationship. That's a whole different type of dynamic and connection to be able to accept that person with doing something outside the box. Now I can speak on this for myself. Growing up in church, a lot of things that's going on in the world today is completely unorthodox for me.
Yeah.
It's outside everything. It's like, but my thing growing up, I was instilled about pleasing God, but I was told by man how I am to please God, not me having a relationship with God and He's showing me how. You
It
know,
was it was right.
so I was I you know I would sit and talk to my mate and say, this is what I want to do. And I don't want to be compared to anyone else. What I want you to do is we can create and make whatever we want to make. This is our relationship.
Right.
I don't want what's understood, no, do not need to be explained. And I feel like a lot of times if you go into a relationship like that, you can prevent yourself of a lot of heartache.
Mm.
You really can. If you are in a relationship and you have an interest and you and that person and y'all want to be with somebody else, and I'm saying I think you should have that conversation. I think you should make it a whole dynamic to do that and really explore that and talk about it. Now, if you have a naysayer and that mate don't want to do that, that you go, I mean, when you open that box, like I said, the dynamic of who you guys were is going to change after that conversation. So that's why most people will lie and sneak and rather and do a certain way, but they really not like that. I feel like
Right.
that takes my choice. I won't want my man to do that. So you know what I would say right at the beginning of my relationship, I'm gonna say, listen, this is where we at. Now I don't know where we're gonna be in a couple of years. Things might change. You might want different things, and that's what happened, guys. You do change. You got to be willing to know that the person that you with right now today in 7 years is going to be somebody completely different. I know I'm damn sure not the woman that I was years ago. I'm totally different. But that's where, for me, Ed, I say I would need a man to meet me where I'm at
Because
because I'm forever changing.
and that's the thing. So one of the questions when I was talking about the show we was on, when I was early on the Zoom call, they were just talking about the question was the intro on the Zoom was um, respect and consent, whatever, and going into like I guess the dichotomy of respect and consent when it comes to your partnership, your relationship, like what are you consenting to and stuff like that. And just what you just said, like you're a whole different person. You have to kind of respect that boundary and respect what they want, and then like you said, don't take your choice away from you. And that stuff gets tricky because one thing is I love, you say this all the time about the inventory check. So let's say you go and say, okay, we're gonna spice things up. I want to bring this other thing into the move, right? I
I
want to
want to
bring
put some bees in your ass, babe, tonight.
right, put the beads in your butt, or I want to
Right.
bring
And
another
give me
person,
let me put a butt plug in there.
but all of those things, and then
Let me
like you
squeeze
just
your
said,
butt at your job.
and you bring all these things to it, and then you like you said at that point, the whole thing has changed, and I look at you different. Like you don't really want to put that in my butt. You keep talking about it, and I'm starting to look at you differently. You're starting to look
Yeah.
really. You're starting to. I'm starting not
But
to trust you. Look, now I'm starting not to trust you. Like falling asleep around you because now I'm thinking you're gonna try something. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
and that's crazy because that's your whole woman or wife. And you don't like the fact that she's changed and now she wants to put shit in your ass. Now I know you feel a certain way, but most men don't even like they woman grabbing. Y'all done seen it on TikTok. Like, y'all don't even like it. But what I
man,
want
the
to tell
dude.
y'all men, that women like that. They like it. They like it, and they like it without you being in them. Well, you ain't say now you saying squeeze it, but it's okay. But at the same time, if that man is just uncomfortable, it's no different than a woman saying, I've never had anal sex and I don't want no man sticking his dick in my ass. Now what?
that that part. So my thing is, that's so funny. That is such a funny concept. Kim. You know why I think that's so funny? That's a very relevant point. I want to really do a show on that when you start looking at your partner differently, like
Yeah.
because like you don't know them,
Why
and then
you
it's
keep
crazy.
why you keep doing that? Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
but it's like, but it's like the thing is, it's so funny because now you just kind of look at them like I don't know you, do I?
right. And then you start saying, but you know what? That's wrong. I want to dismantle that myth. I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
Because the character of a person is different from what they are in relationship versus what they are sexually. And I think people get that messed up.
No, that is true. That is true.
So you can be a bona fide, solidified freak, okay?
Hmm.
But you're not walking around with a big ass sign on it and say, "Yeah, I eat your ass from the back to the front." You're not.
Right,
You
you're not
don't
saying
know
that.
that until the experience of you
Hmm.
happens, and that's why they be like, when and I'm gonna give a code away. When how you know you really didn't put it down, bros, is when you get up to get your butt out the bed in whatever kind of way, and you catch her looking and she look at you. It's a certain look that every woman get at man when they know they like can't really get it all out, and they like, oh Lord, have mercy, and they catch you. That is a sign giveaway. But it's the same thing on a man. He be like, you know what? See, I know what your ass trying to do, girl. They trying to,
Yeah,
keep they masculine.
you're
You know what
trying
I'm
to
saying?
get,
But
you're
you
trying to
just
get me
made him out
sprung.
to be your little hoe. And then, it's just another, but at the same time, the whole point, at the same
I never know
time,
what my
I don't
partner
know
gonna say.
about
I
y'all,
never know what she gonna say.
but all I'm saying, at the same time, and yes, we need to do part two. But I'm just saying, at the same time, I will say honestly that when you got a bomb ass relationship, and it's not the, oh, we get along, we like the same colors, the same pie and shit. Not that kind of. I'm talking about like you can straight up and have a drink, like Ed and I doing straight up sip and spill. I'm talking about like for real though. This your mate though, and you talking, you like, babe, you know what? For real, I'm just gonna go ahead and kick 100 with you. I like that shit you did the other day though. What? You be like, really, you're so nasty. And you be like, well, I like that shit though. And then you be like, I ain't know you. So what
Because
I'm saying?
sometimes
But you're not lying and sneaking no more. You open up a whole nother door. So
real quick too, Kim, I want to bring that up too. I want
mm-hmm.
to tell them just for a hair, and then we'll get right back.
Y'all, I'm sipping. It ain't, but I am.
Yeah. So
I need to go
I
to
want to tip
sleep.
on it just a little bit, like making the person feel comfortable when they come out of the box on your ass. They come out of the bag on you, because you don't want them to feel, because it might be something crazy that they do or something you ain't never seen or heard or done. I know one thing. Well, before I even go there, you don't want them to feel bad about what they did, because
Right. So
you can make people feel real bad, like, yo, especially dudes. Dudes like, yo, who you learn that from? That's the first thing
this
First
is
thing they
guys, this
do.
is when the conversation get good when Ed and I is doing this. So I'm gonna stop because I know y'all attention span. And I'm gonna do part 2. So when we put it out, you can see 1 and 2 because we on to something. Ed got plenty more to say, and so do I. So how about we'll see y'all on the next segment, part 2, conversation of exploring the relationship of what you want to do. It's all about you, but being open about it. Part
Okay.
2 finna happen in just a second.
Just a second. Listen, like, subscribe, and share. Share the video. Rock with us. Get with us. We love you
And
guys.
keep watching. Keep
Keep on.
watching
Then
because we're
leave
not
some
done.
goddamn comments.
You're right.
We want to read it. Kim wants to
Yeah.
read y'all stuff. All right. We talk to y'all soon. Next episode.